Hi, you're watching SFU Science Reporters.
Want to manage your weight but don't know where to start? Don't worry, in this video we'll get onto ideas of how to personalize a diet plan. In Canada, every 5 in 10 women and every 7 in 10 men have intake more than what they need. This inspires us to promote the idea of better weight management. But before we start, let's first understand energy and metabolism. When you eat or drink something, the food is broken down for the body's use. This is where metabolism comes in. It is a set of chemical reactions that convert food to energy for the body's basic functions. There are 3 major nutrients that provide us energy: proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Proteins that are broken down into amino acids, which are building blocks of our muscles, cells, and tissues. Carbohydrates turns into glucose, which are the energy source of our bodies. And fats becomes fatty acids that can be converted into energy as well. Eating the right amount of calories in the right balance each day is crucial to our diet plan.
Carbohydrates and fats are used for the body's energy needs. The difference between them is that glucose from carbohydrates can only be stored in limited quantities, whereas fatty acids can be stored in fat cells that have unlimited capacity. The excess glucose can be stored in the liver and skeletal muscles to provide for energy between meals. Any remaining glucose is turned into fat for long-term storage to avoid wasting it. The amino acids from proteins, on the other hand, are mainly used in protein synthesis. However, if there is a shortage of carbohydrates and fats, the protein are also used for the body's energy needs. So what happens if you consume more calories than you need? During your daily activities, the body is constantly burning calories. For example, when you take a walk. Your weight is based on how many calories you eat and how many calories you burn. If you eat too little calories than needed, your body burns fat in order to get energy. If you eat more calories than required, most of the excess calories end up being stored as fat.
But don't worry, excess calories is not always a bad thing if you can use it to build muscle mass and bulk up. Of course, you may not want to be bulky. In order to avoid that, you need to avoid consuming excess calories. But how do you know how many calories is normal for you? The Harris-Benedict equation is an easy way to calculate the basal metabolic rate, or the BMR. These are the calories needed to maintain the body's basic metabolic functions. By factoring in the amount of exercise you perform on a weekly basis, you can calculate the calories you need to maintain your current weight. Once you know this, you can increase or decrease your caloric intake, depending on if you're looking to gain or lose weight. There are 2 main equations, one for men and one for women. To calculate the BMR for men, you add 66.47 to 13.75 times the weight in kilogram, plus 5.003 times the height in centimeter, minus 6.755 times the age in years. To calculate the BMR for women, you add 655.1 to 9.563 times the weight in kilogram, plus 1.850 times the height in centimeters, minus 4.676 times the age in years. Once you calculate the BMR, you need to factor in your weekly exercise to calculate your daily calories needed. There are 5 main different types of exercises. You have your sedentary, which involves little to no exercise, where you multiply your BMR times 1.2. Next, you have your mild activity level, which involves short periods of intensive exercise 1 to 3 times a week, where you multiply your BMR to 1.375. Following this, you have your moderate activity level, which involves long periods of intensive exercise 3 to 4 times a week, where you multiply your BMR to 1.55. The heavy activity level involves long periods of vigorous exercise 5 to 7 times a week, where you multiply your BMR by 1.7. And finally, the extreme level involves highly demanding activities. Here, you multiply the BMR by 1.9.
Let's use an example to make things easier. Jimmy is a 25-year-old man who weighs 70 kilograms and 180 centimeters tall. He goes swimming twice a week for about 20 minutes each. Plug in numbers into the equation, you get 1,761 calories per day. And to maintain his weight, he needs to consume 2,421 calories each day per BMR equation.
To find out more about healthy diets and weight loss strategies, we spoke to a professor at Simon Fraser University.
For each individual, how much weight loss is considered to be healthy?
Might
go-to is like it really depends.
Yeah.
I guess an easy answer would be that the typical recommendation you hear that's pretty validated is 5 to 10% of body weight.
It is also recommended that in order to lose weight, you cut down 500 calories from your daily intake every day, resulting in a loss of 1 pound each week. Once you calculate your daily calorie intake, it's easy to know how many calories to reduce every day in order to reach your target weight. Exercising is another way to burn calories and improve the speed of your weight loss. If you manage to burn 250 calories each day, you can lose an extra half a pound per week.
Something else I have very much found from the research is that every diet works for some people. You know what I mean? And it really is about finding what works for you. Everybody's body is different, and they will, you know, even if it tells you need this many calories and you eat that many calories and you're trending upwards, it's telling you something's off. So I really suggest that people pay attention to how their body responds to the way they're eating and exercising, and then make adjustments from there.
Now that we've discussed calories, it's important to know exactly how many servings of each basic food group is recommended to be consumed as part of your daily caloric intake. So you have 3 to 5 servings of wholemeal cereals and breads, potatoes, pasta and rice, 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables, 3 servings of milk, yogurt and cheese, 2 servings of meat, poultry, fish, eggs, beans and nuts, and small amounts of oils and fats. This translates into 45 to 65% carbohydrates, 10 to 35% proteins, and 20 to 35% of fats.
So what do you kind of consider the ideal meal?
If we're talking about a nutrient composition, it's got a little bit of everything. So it would have some carbohydrates, some fats, and some proteins. Lots of colors.
Yeah.
Colors, especially from vegetables and fruits, signifies lots of different phytochemicals and lots of different nutrients in there. My personal preference is for 2/3 of the plate to be plants, 1/3 of the plate to be animals. Sometimes I like to do 100% plants, right? Ideally.
So to summarize, you need to remember that carbohydrates and fats are both used as energy. Excess calories are not always a bad thing if you exercise regularly to burn the calories. However, if you don't exercise or don't want to become bulky, you can use the Harris-Benedict equation to calculate your daily caloric intake.
Using this data, you can increase or decrease your daily calories based on if you want to put on or lose weight. Carbohydrates, proteins, and fats are all needed to be part of your daily diet. However, they need to be taken in balanced quantities. A diet that works for someone may not necessarily work for another. Everyone is different, and you need to try out different methods before you can find one that suits you.
My favorite definition of health, of a healthy weight, is the weight that reduces your risk of disease, that you can live your life with, that keeps you mentally and socially well as well. You know what I mean? Where you're eating well and exercising, but you're still enjoying your life.
Thanks for watching! If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos.